Molnupiravir. If you have to Google this, and I suspect many of you will have to, that's a sad state of affairs. Not for you, but for all the authorities that are managing this pandemic in the world. Managing is a big word, coping with it, even that is a big word. Messing with it is the correct word. Molnupiravir should have been only headline all across the world, especially in India, but it hasn't happened. It's a oral medication. It is produced by Merck. It can be taken at home. It's pretty safe, easily tolerated. They have been studying it for months. Merck recently presented a study that showed that if taken early in people with mild to moderate disease, it can prevent hospitalization, serious side effects by about 50%. Good, robust data, well designed study, lot of people in it. Most of them were unvaccinated, but it is my prediction, and it will be right like the other predictions too, 100% sure that this will also work in vaccinated people, and this pill and the pills like that are coming soon will effectively end the pandemic in the world. Now, this, let's quickly talk about one conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. Even I have been saying that we have spent billions of dollars on vaccine development and this and that and so much money and like big news flashes and all the attention and the focus. And we knew that it would be hard to convince people to take the vaccine. But instead of that, if there was something simple, that is safe, that is cheap, effective, not too many side effects, well known, a repurposed drugs that we have like 20-30 years of experience, and that a patient can take after catching COVID without going to the hospital, without paying for a COVID package, without paying for a room, without IV pole, line, infusion, nothing. Wouldn't that be great? But the world over, people paid so much attention and money just on vaccine development. And I think these safe, effective pills like that were in a way ignored. Now, I don't want to give fodder to people who keep talking about the vaccine conspiracy theories. This is not a conspiracy. I understand the world has made a mistake, but there's a reason to make the mistake. And the reason is, suppose you are on a submarine, you are under the water, and a door is open. So you have to do two things: close the door, and then whatever water is on board, you have to put it out. You should close the door first, right? Otherwise, you will keep putting the water out, but the more water will keep coming in and you will go to the bottom. So, preventing the disease from happening in the first place is a very worthy goal, because we don't know what the long-term side effects would have been of this disease. So, preventing the disease is a great goal, and it deserves all the attention that it got for the vaccines. Now that we are doing well with the vaccine, now we have shifted focus. So the people who catch it, and then we can fix it. The only medication so far that was available was remdesivir, and that to me is an antiviral medication that cuts down the replication. World Health Organization has come out against it. It's not a great drug, but it has done well if it is used after hypoxia, before requiring high flow oxygen or before ventilation, only for 5 days. It has worked well. So people were so excited with the prospect of getting something simple that can be taken cheaply, safely, something that was known. So that's why there was so much interest. There was interest in hydroxychloroquine, favipiravir, ivermectin, and most of them, they were studied and didn't come out to be well. I think some of them could have deserved another look, but there was so much bad press that they were sunk prematurely and effectively. I think the problem was conceptual. Nobody seems to have really understood it like really well from a thinking perspective. When somebody catches COVID, that's like a thief entering your house. Your body tries to fight it for first about 9 to 10 days. Most of the time the body wins the fight, body develops the antibodies, and nothing happens. When the body starts failing in some people, after 9 to 10 days, body gets frustrated, and to kill this virus, these thieves, body brings an immune flood to drown the virus, and while drowning it, the body also drowns itself. There's an immune storm, there's a lot of damage, people end up on ventilators, and some of them unfortunately die. So if you want to stop this virus, you have to stop it very, very early. You have to stop it before it becomes a big problem. Because when it becomes a big problem, the body is already on the verge of bringing an immune storm. And at that time, stopping the virus is not going to help. At that time, you have to deal with the immune storm. So any oral medication, any whatever you are working on, has to be taken early. It has to be taken quickly. It has to be taken as quickly as possible. The another medication that we have that blocks the virus is the monoclonal antibodies. Now we have spoken about the monoclonal antibodies that they need to be taken as early as possible before hypoxia, certainly within 10 days. So in a country like India, the monoclonal are associated with high costs like 70,000 rupees or whatever. So then people think twice before taking it. They need to make this decision beforehand. So before they are thinking, because they are thinking, they wait. It adds 2 or 3 days. Then they take monoclonal finally when it is too late. Then they have a bad effect and they put it on WhatsApp and sink an effective drug. That probably shouldn't happen with Merck because this can be taken orally and safely. You don't have to depend upon anybody. Now they started studying it as early as like around July 2020, September, October. It was showing good effects outside and in animal models. Then what happened was they stopped the study and they said that it doesn't work because it is no benefit because they were using it in hospitalized patients. That's a wrong model, that's the wrong space, that's the wrong way to use this medication. They're using it too late. Then they shifted gear and now they started using it early and this is going to work. Now the cost, this is the course of you have to take I think 5 pills or 4 pills twice a day for about 5 days. The entire course, I think Merck has about 17 lakh doses ready of 40 pills each. And United States, South Korea, Singapore, Australia have already bought the stock. I think countries like India should also consider it to get some stockpile. The cost of that in United States is going to be $700 and the cost of that in India, countries like India would be around $4. Means, fair is fair. United States consumers pay so much out of their pocket so that the pills are affordable to the rest of the world. So literally they are paying for some of those courses. The cost is too high in US. Now there's going to be some tussle and fight when the pill comes out, but I don't think there is any cause for concern. A pill by Pfizer is coming. I think it's called 0732132, something like that, which works in a similar way. We don't know much about that, but I think they will come out pretty soon too. And then Pfizer will, I guess, will work in US and Europe, and Merck will be produced in India and will be distributed to all the other countries. It is hard to talk people into vaccine, though we have done a good job of it. If somebody has a small boat and they are in the ocean and you are going to try to sell them something that will prevent the boat or prevent the boat from having a hole, they will be reluctant to buy it because they don't know how that is going to affect their boat, whether there is any side effects. But if you can tell them something that you have a patch After the hole happens, you can put the patch on. So you buy the insurance after the effect. They will be willing to go for it. So that's why I think this pill will effectively end the pandemic. Now, so anybody who gets sick, vaccinate the whole world. The people who unfortunately still get the disease, treat them at home by giving this pill early. To much higher risk, you can give them the monoclonal, and very few who reach the hospital, they can be saved with remdesivir and steroids as appropriate and as needed. Now, US might restrict this pill only for unvaccinated. That is slightly unfair, I think, for the vaccinated people, because they did the right thing, they took the vaccine. They still have some risk of catching mild disease, and the high risk amongst them, immunosuppressed amongst the vaccinated people, still have some chance, small chance, but a chance of ending up in the hospital. So they should also benefit from this pill. And when we say that this pill was studied in unvaccinated people, where are you going to find the unvaccinated people to study these pills? Where are you going to find your control group? So I think it is going to be fine. I would just say this about a country like India. India is doing fine. Because of the second wave, there is no third wave. There are like a lot of natural infections, and India is well protected. But India needs to now do two things. Only a replicating virus can mutate. India's 30% population is under 18. There is no vaccine started in that population yet. That's an exposed flank. There is always a chance that the virus can slip through that population, though they are protected some extent too, and the virus will replicate and mutate and will lead to a future trouble. I don't think anything like that is going to happen, but they need to work on that. At times, cautious and careful starts looking like slow and stupid. And the second thing is, pills like Merck and monoclonal antibodies, India should have a stockpile and be ready. There's not going to be a third wave in India. Vaccination should continue, but they should consider some of these things. Lift me like a cloud, a wave, a leaf. I fall upon the thorns of life. I bleed. Dr. Ravi Godse.